second ago, in golf, most people think of this as inside takeaways. And what you got to realize is your body wants to come into itself and go away from itself. Into itself and away from itself. Into itself and away from itself. You have a spine that pivots. In order for this thing to operate, we've got to come into ourselves, away from ourselves. If you go this way, as soon as you go this way, your spine locks up. You've experienced that. You go this way, you go back in a straight line and there's nothing here. Your spine, spinal engine, how you want to look at it, your muscle contractions alone won't let you do it. So, and I'm not coming over the top. I'm correct. I'm not saying come this way and then come that way. I'm saying coming this way and then come like you were just experienced. You come this way and then you come up against this line to that target. So it's in, out and go get it that way. So it's all about how your thoracic wants to move your arms, but you got to step against that wall. You felt how you stayed up against, when you swung this way, the ball went that way. So you got to step against your target line. You saw that, Phil? So it's in, get started. There's our target. In. Make sense? So contraction of you wise is into ourself, away from yourself. The loop is this way. Always tiger, you see tiger looping it this way. All right? Here's the problem with all golfers. They think he's taking the left arm and looping it. All right? He's taking both arms, coming into himself and away from himself. They're both propagating. In the thoracic, here's another thing. Your sister learned today. Your sister was bad this way. Tilted. Well, the minute you tilt this or kink the wiring in your spine, spinal engine, she was nothing there. She goes, man, I got no power. That's where you got to tilt this way. We don't tilt this way. She went like this. And our shoulder, the key to it is the back of this shoulder should hang. And a lot of people teach a wall. It's not a wall. Believe me, it's not a wall. But the back of your left arm will stay either outside this foot or right on top of the ankle a little bit. That sets everything. That sets the spine this way all the time instead of this way. If you want to feel like the ball, you can always put the ball here if you want to be behind it. Just don't ever do this because it shuts off your, you're done. So, but I also told her that when she goes into her, that'd be what a lot of people are trying to go tight. It's not what it's about. It's about getting closer to ourselves. And by getting closer to yourself, what happens is, because the weight of all this that is now somewhere over here, it feels like there's weight on this foot, but it's just because it's the weight of this. But what people are trying to do is shift. They don't work. Now your balance system's off. So you may shift this way. You're never going to shift in perfect lines. You're going to shift all over the fucking place. You'll be out of balance. So she learned today that by just the thoracic bringing it into her here, that when she went to go do it, it was going to throw it long. So we start somewhat wide, but we really go into us, which is the same thing as narrow, wide, which is the same thing as away. Make sense? To your brain and body and muscle, it's in and away. The rest of the golf world wants to say inside, tight. It's not what the muscles do. It's not what your brain does. It's not what your spine does. And it's certainly not what your balance system does. It's just into us and away from us. Boom. And your spinal engine would, your thoracic turning would be an axial spine. But everybody thinks it's this little spine and it's this rib cage turning and whatever the parameters of your rib cage are. But never take this side, this shoulder, and turn it on this side of the body. It won't work. Spine, central nervous system will shut you down. So it'll stop it right over the inside of this leg every time, and just just all you want. So a lot of times when you black out, you're swinging all of a sudden, because you went too far this way, got out of balance, spinal engine, everything shut you off. Makes sense?